Welcome back to the Culture of Currency, where today we're talking about amazing series of silver bullion coming from the continent of Africa. As you might know, Africa is really rich in culture, has the most amazing amount of resources, and so many cool stories worth telling. And for most of these coins that you will see, I have already told the story. I have videos going in depth about the nation, about the relevance of what's on these coins to the people, and so on. Another note before we get into it is that in particular, when it comes to both sides of the coin being beautiful, it's hard to beat nations in Africa because they have some of the most unique coats of arms, which we will get into as we go through these cool series that you should consider getting into, because they are, many of them, extremely low mintage and they jump in value like crazy. So here we go. We're going to start off with one everybody knows because it's the American Silver Eagle of Africa, kind of, and that is the Krugerrand. It is iconic. It is beautiful. Named after this guy right here, Mr. Kruger. South Africa, right? South Africa. And we have the Krugerrand. One of the coolest world bullion coins out there, the mass-produced variety. Putting them up there with the kangaroo and the Philharmonic, the maple, all of those. This is one of my favorites. In fact, it was one of my favorite videos to make because I found with the magnifying glass 2 little security features hidden back here in these mountains. So go watch that video so you know how to check to see if yours is real. But that is the Krugerrand. Next we go to Liberia. As you can see here, Liberia has a very interesting history with America, as you might know, but this coin will reiterate that when we turn it over. Just to note that this is from 2004, and this was back in a time when they would actually do 925 silver. So this is not technically bullion, but it's Liberia, and I thought it was worth mentioning today. Notice the amazing coat of arms that you see there. You will see a lot of that today. On the back, we have an American theme, History of America, the Whiskey Rebellion of 1794. You have a whole series here in Liberia about American history, and if you know the history between Liberia and America, you know why. Next, getting deep into Africa, we have the Republic of Cameroon. You'll notice on these coins that it's spelled differently depending on the coin, which is not necessarily crazy because they have different sectors within Cameroon where there are different languages spoken. And in fact, there's even high conflict zones within this nation. Here we have a very controversial coin. This is the Imperial Dragon, not of Africa, but of China. This is actually found on some historic artwork and relics. I did a video over this, and in that, I discovered some interesting ties between China and some African nations and how they're developing partnerships. So if you're somebody who loves politics and international commerce and things like that, you might learn something in that video, but it is kind of frightening, so I won't lie about that. Up next from the amazing nation of Cameroon, you see once again the cool coat of arms. Notice the axe in the background. It's covered with the fasces, which is a symbol that you would give. It's a bundle of sticks, a symbol of peace, even though it's covered with an axe. I get it. But you will notice a very similar iconography on some American dimes. This is the mandrill. If you've ever seen The Lion King, this is the character Rafiki. Absolutely beautiful coin, very interesting animal. I would not want to see one out in public because they are frightening. You should see the teeth on these things. Not one I'd want to get in a street fight with, that's for sure, especially when they usually have a posse of about 70 friends with them. And our last coin today from the Republic of Cameroon. All of these are in series, by the way, and they change every single year. That last one, the mandrill, is fantastic, but this is probably my favorite series coming out of Cameroon, and it is the cheetah. The cheetah this year is fantastic. I'm going to try to pick it up if I can. It reminds me of the classic Deathstalker Scorpion. It has that same type of feel in the background. It's just fantastic. But I love the cheetah. Probably my favorite big cat. Next, we go to, right here, the Republic of the Congo. Now, you have to be careful here. There's also a Democratic Republic of Congo. They're right next to each other, but you'll notice a difference in their coat of arms. Here we have the 2 elephants doing elephant things, walking on this log. But gorgeous, just gorgeous coat of arms. And we go to the back. This is what they're known for, the silverback. This is their most popular piece. This is one I got. I thought it was very interesting because it's more geometric than it is realism. And so I thought it very unique for that reason. I know there's a whole community on the internet that call themselves silverbacks that are silver folk. They like to stack bullion, so on and so forth. And so this is a calling card coin for them. But this is once again a series that changes every single year. Just gorgeous, from the Republic of Congo. Next, we go to my favorite African nation that puts out silver bullion, and that is Rwanda. Now, Rwanda is a very fertile area, beautiful, and as you see right here, we have the shields here. We have a basket in the middle, cross Z's on it. That's something that I learned, is that each ethnographic area kind of has different weaves and baskets, and you can actually look around to see the baskets in the area and know what tribes are around. Here is a cog. We have the sorghum and that kind of stuff going on. We got the rope right here. It's just an amazing coat of arms. And in Rwanda, this is a series where they have some of their African wildlife. This is the Okapi, the first series the first Rwandan coin I ever bought. One interesting thing about this is that these are very, very big coins. They're akin to the American silver eagle. They're just a little bit bigger than what you would consider a standard bullion coin, normally coming in at around 38 millimeters. So absolutely gorgeous. That's Rwanda. Here's another from this same series in Rwanda. Notice the similarity here at the front. And this is the pelican. We've talked about my unhealthy addiction to pelicans. This one came out and I said, yep, I'm going to pay a lot for it. I think I paid $40 for this coin because silver was close to 30 at that point. They're very low mintage. But it's already worth more than that. So I'm okay with it. But yeah, it's one of those that, you know what you know, and pelicans are one of the things that I have a weakness to. Here we go again. Rwanda. This is part of their lunar series. They are known for the mosaicism in their lunar series. They're the only ones that I know that do that. And there are some countries that do mosaics outside of a lunar series, but these are the only ones that do it inside. And it is fantastic because they master the textures of all the different types of polygons in here so that you know which part is which. And they also outline just a hair in the mirrored image where our animal is. So that's the dragon, which is this year's lunar animal. And then here is the tiger, just to give you a variation of what these things look like. Really, really cool. So Rwanda just puts out the highest of quality. They have an amazing ship series. I don't have any of those for you today, but they have one of the best nautical ship series out there. They're fantastic. Next, a classic. As you see here, Somalia. Now, I know we usually think Somali pirates and things like that. It is a very, very poor nation, a hurting nation, economic disparities, educational disparities, so on and so forth. We go over that in my original video over a 2015 elephant, which I gave away to a viewer. But this is a 2021 elephant. This is their most popular series, their African wildlife series. It changes every single year. Very, very collectible. The artwork is always fantastic. These are usually minted in the Bavarian mint in Europe, which probably helps because the inconsistency of struggles within Somalia make that probably a very hard thing to sustain. But these are just fantastic. My next one is another low mintage variety. Same obverse, which I love because they're gorgeous. But this is going to be another one from their African wildlife series. This is the leopard. You notice 4.9 silver. That's what they do here, thanks to the Bavarian mint. High quality as always. Our next nation right here, one of the first African nations ever had, Chad, which is also a name of a guy, the Republic of Chad. So you see there's a T in front of it, so I don't know if it's Chad with a T in front of it or how that's traditionally pronounced, but if you know somebody who knows, let me know. This is part of their mandala series. Very, very shocked at how well these do. I saw that this was a warthog. I did not have a warthog in my collection, and I think warthogs are rare on coins, so I picked it up. But basically, they take an African animal, and they put a very iconic theme of print. And in this series, it's the mandala print. This coin shot up in value. It is extremely low mintage, but I want to say it's around $60 or maybe even $80 right now, which is shocking because I don't find them to be all that attractive. But because it was a warthog and I didn't have one, I picked up, and I am the one who kind of capitalized on that. So if you see things like this coming out of Chad, low mintage, collectible patterns, then go for it. But they usually have series of about 8 to 10. And I have another one from this series. In fact, I think it's this one. Chad again. Yes, this is the mandala crocodile. So you see how they just took some African animals and they threw some collectible print, which is actually an Asian print, low mintage coin, and it goes like crazy in value. Another series where they did the exact same thing. Here is Republic of Chad, as you see, but this is going to be Irish animals with Irish print or Celtic. So we have the stag here, the red stag, very low mintage. I want to say 5,000 of these were made, somewhere in there. I cannot quite recall, but it's something like that. And these are extremely valuable. So I have that one to show you, and I have one that a viewer actually got me right here. A viewer of this channel said, "Hey, you're awesome. I want to send you something that's awesome." So this is from his collection, Republic of Chad. Sorry, I have some tape on my capsule here. And this is the horse of the same series, Celtic Animals. So I have 2 from that series. I believe there was 12 in that series or 10, but all are extremely valuable now. Pretty cool things coming out of Chad. Let's get ahead to our next nation. So we talked about the Republic of Congo and how their coat of arms had 2 elephants. This is the Democratic Republic of Congo, and they have a leopard on there. So they do have an elephant tusk, spear, and some other things. But you see Republic Democrat right there. This is not talking about American politics. That's for another video. But yes, Democratic Republic of Congo. This is part of their low mintage prehistoric series. The Liopleurodon is what you're looking at right now. Really, really cool series of ancient wildlife. They have things like the Titanoboa, the T-Rex, and all kinds of cool things. But I just picked up a couple of these, most of which were this year. So there's a Liopleurodon. Here we have another Democratic Republic of Congo. You'll see a similar obverse, obviously, same series. This is the Dunkleosteus, a marine fish that lived before most of the dinosaurs, actually. Devonian period, which was before really things started to crawl on land. So it is a very interesting animal and was there to see, I guess, the first tetrapods, I guess you'd call them, start to walk on land because the oxygen levels in the sea got really bad because there was nobody on land, so plants proliferated and really messed up the quality of oxygen in the air, which means eventually in the water. And our last from the prehistoric series, this one's cool because it has multiple species. The Parasaurolophus is the one you see back here with the thing on his head, my favorite dinosaur of all time. But up here you see some raptors. I don't know if they are Utah raptors or, Pyroraptors, Velociraptors. I don't really know what kind of raptors they are, but it is really cool because you have a full scene playing out in front of you with the sauropods in the background. Really, really cool. An interesting series if you like dinosaurs and prehistoric stuff. They have other series in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but those were the ones that caught my eye. Next is a fairly newer player. I think this was a country that started in the game last year for this type of stuff. This is the Republic of Sierra Leone. We just noticed Sierra Leone. See the lions holding up the shield, some palm in the background. Might even be date trees, I'm not sure. Or at least I don't remember. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous obverse there. This is the 2023, as you can see. And they have a series based on Egypt. So they've got Ra and Anubis, Osiris, you name it. They've got all kinds of cool Egyptian themes Egyptian themed coins within this series. I picked up the King Tut because I'm not big on having, that's a conversation for another video, but basically I like King Tut as an Egyptian theme. I do love ancient Egypt. I have a whole book based on ancient Egypt. I love reading about them, their culture, and all that kind of stuff. And this is one that I thought really, really cool. It is well struck, low mintage, and holds value. That's Sierra Leone. All these, by the way, were purchased at APMEX. So with the exception of the ones that were given to me. But if you are looking for unique coins from around the world, APMEX is where you need to start. They just have phenomenal resources to get the coins that you're looking for in your hands. This is Equatorial Guinea. Very interesting design. Has a tree on the front. Very important tree, by the way. You'll learn that in my video. Extremely low mintage, and they tend to do proof-like coins for these. But their series is known as the giraffe. How cool is that? This one has 2 giraffe on it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, and it changes every year. Most of these series that I'm showcasing change every single year. This one is fairly valuable now. We're going to go vintage next. This is one I found not too long ago, a 2015 from the nation of Burundi, one of the most poor nations in the entire world. You could probably survive a week on $5. In fact, I think it's like if you go there and you exchange US dollars for their currency, I think they cap you out at like $20 or something, which is just crazy. I watched a documentary on it. I can't remember what the number was. It was 20 or $50. So they basically don't have enough cash on hand to trade you. But this is theirs, African lion. That's what they're known for. They have a handful of coins like this. Just gorgeous. You're probably not going to find many newer ones, unless you're luckier than I am, of course. Our last today is interesting because it's the nation of Ghana, yet it has the queen on the front. I'm not sure why that is. If you know, let me know in the comments below. I know Ghana is a huge partner with UNESCO and some other international entities, especially with its history within the slave trade and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that has to do with it. I'm not sure. But either way, it's one of the coolest obverses because it brings in the rosettes of our theme, which is the leopard. Low mintage. This is a fantastic series. It changes dramatically from year to year. This is a 2021, as you see. And if you look at the next in this series, or actually it's the one before it in this series, which I'm fixing to show you, you wouldn't even know they're in the same series because the artwork is so drastically different. But the obverse is kind of what connects them. So this is the obverse. And here we have a completely different looking reverse, as you can see. It's laid out differently. We have the leopard popping out of a cutout, which looks like the nation of Africa. We've got oceans and currents and things like that all over it. They don't even look similar, but it is the same series. The font doesn't even look quite right. Very interesting how they did that, but I'm not a designer. So this is a 2019, this is a 2021. So let me know in the comments what you think about the African silver. They have some of the coolest series out there. Definitely worth your time if you are a collector. And if you're not a collector, maybe you should start thinking about it because it is the coolest way to have a hobby, as the hobby holds value and you don't really lose money. That's the cool part. Over time with inflation and all that kind of stuff, as long as you're holding this stuff, it tends to be a lot more valuable over time than what you pay for it. So it is a really cool hobby. But that is all I have for you today. So as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.